Yo, what's up guys, it is Seahawks area back with another video, and today's my week 10 NFL recap. If you can't tell, I'm kind of sick, so just bear with me. I'm going to probably break my voice a little talking during these games, so once again, please bear with me, but enjoy the video, and as always, go Hawks. So the Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7 on Thursday in probably the worst game I've ever watched in the NFL. This game was so terrible. Geno, 143. The pick really wasn't on him. It bounced off of Gentry's hand, but Geno he still is the worst quarterback in football. He just can't get shit together. Gentry had the Raiders only score on their first drive of the game, and they did nothing else the rest of the game. Tyler Lockett was the leading receiver in this entire game, 44 yards in his second game as a Raider. Cole recovered a fumble, Gentry fumbled, 9 tackles for Chin, a sack for Snowden, a sack for Butler, 2 picks by the former Seahawk Q Blue Kelly. One of them was an arm punt. It was nice by Bo Nix. 1 whole point for Carlson, missed the game-tying field goal with about 4 minutes left, and 7 punts for Cole. And now the Broncos, Bo Nix, a touchdown and 2 picks. So just none of these quarterbacks could really get anything together. Dobbins had 77, Pat Bryant 43, Troy Franklin had their only touchdown, no fumbles, 9 tackles for Hufanga and Singleton, a sack for Hufanga, a sack and a half for Benito. They got 6 total sacks on the day. Tillman, a defensive lineman, got an interception, 4 points for Lutz, 7 punts for Crashaw. AJ Cole had 2 punts that were pinned inside the 1-yard line. It was amazing. And then Crashaw was struggling with his punting. He had one that hit off the fucking side of his foot. It was just bad. This game was just terrible. So many offensive pass interferences, so many just drops in general, just so many flags, and every time a player did catch a ball, it was offensive pass interferences. Dude, this game just didn't want to end. It was just put me out of my misery. This game was so bad. And the Colts get revenge from last week's loss, beating the Falcons 31-25 in overtime. Penix 177 and a touchdown on 12 out of 28. That is putrid. Alligator had 2 rushing touchdowns. Bijan had 84 yards. Drake London 104 yards and a touchdown. Kind of beat Sauce on that 2-point conversion at the end of the game, pretty much. It was kind of funny. Penix lost a fumble, 12 tackles for Watts, a sack for Harrison Jr., a sack for Walker, the rookie. They got 7 total sacks and still lost. Are you serious? Interception for Jesse Bates. That's 2 in the last 2 games, I think, so good for him. 5 points for Gonzalez, 6 punts for Pinion. And now the Colts, Daniel Jones, 255, a touchdown and a pick. Looked better than last week. But here's just an average stat line from Jonathan Taylor, the best running back in football. 32 for 244 and 3 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime. What the hell, man? MVP, this man, seriously, I don't know what else to say. Warren with 99 receiving yards, had that clutch 4th down catch before overtime on the game, tying field goal drive. Pierce had the touchdown reception. Jones had 3 fumbles. Okay, lost one of them. 10 tackles for Franklin. 3 total sacks for the Colts. No interceptions. 7 points for Badgley. And just 1 punt for Sanchez. Yeah, Falcons are continuing to just be the Atlanta Falcons. The most bipolar team I think I've seen this year in the NFL. Absolutely terrible. Alright, the Jets get their 2nd win of the year as they take down the Browns, who are still winless in away games, 27-20. Good job, Browns. Dylan Gabriel, 167, 2 touchdowns. Judkins, 75 rushing yards. Dylan Gabriel was running it himself as well. Judy, 78 and a score. Njoku with the other score. They didn't fumble. Sweshingoat with 10 tackles with half a sack. 3 total sacks on the day. Hickman with an interception. Let's see, 8 points for Smite, 7 points for Corey. And now the Jets. Justin Fields, 54 passing yards, a touchdown, and a pick. What else can we expect from him? Brees Hall, 83 yards, but got a receiving touchdown. Just look at this amazing receiving. But to be fair, it was raining a lot, so like you can't really throw the ball efficiently, I guess, when it's raining. But it's also Justin Fields, so like, yeah, no fumbles, 9 tackles for Adams, a sack for Quincy Williams, a sack for Jermaine Johnson. They got 6 total sacks on the day, with 4 coming from Will McDonald. Yeah, it's a big reason why you also won. Amazing reason why you won. No interceptions, 9 points for Folk, 5 points for Austin, and they also had a punt return and a kickoff return touchdown. Half of their points were on special teams. Good job, Cleveland, once again. Remember like a week or two ago when I said the Jaguars were damn near unwatchable? You just choked to Davis Mills. You let Davis Mills and the Texans hit 26 and a quarter to beat you guys. Good job, Jacksonville. T-Law, 158, a touchdown and a pick. ETN, 58 and a score. Touchdown came from Parker Washington. It was a great touchdown in the back of the end zone, might I add. Myers, in his first game as a Jag, had 41 receiving yards. Lawrence had 2 fumbles, 9 tackles for Wingard, a sack for Antonio Johnson and Eric Armstead. Jerry and Jones with an interception, 11 points for Cam Little and a perfect 5 for 5, and 3 punts for Logan Cook. And now the Texans, Davis Mills, pretty much all this was the fourth quarter, but man, he looked great in the fourth quarter. 292, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Woody Marks and Davis Mills had rushing touchdowns. Collins with 136 yards. Touchdowns came from Dalton Schultz and Jaden Higgins, the rookie. Smith and Davis Mills fumbled. 8 tackles for Shahir. 3.5 sacks for Danielle Hunter. Had 5 total on the day. Derek Stingley with an interception. 4 points for Matthew Wright, the new kicker, because Fairbairn is injured, or was injured. And 2 punts for Townsend. Great effort out there, Jacksonville. Buffalo Bills. What the fuck am I looking at? What on God's green earth was this? Their first loss to the Dolphins since, I think, week 3 of 2022. You got the shit knocked out of you. Oh my God. 30-13 to the Dolphins. Like, bro, come on, Allen. 306, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. James Cook didn't really, do anything because they couldn't rush the ball a whole lot. 53 yards. Touchdowns came from Keon Coleman and Haas. I'm pretty sure he's a rookie. Both Allen and Cook lost fumbles. 8 tackles for Poyer, former Dolphin. They didn't get a sack at all. But Hairston, who is a rookie and got an interception last week, also got one this week. So I guess welcome to the NFL. Bishop with the other one. A point for Prater. 4 punts for Wisnowski. Now the Dolphins, Tua didn't even have like a good game. I mean, like to his own standards, a good game. But bro, threw another 2 interceptions. Of course he did. But he had 2 touchdowns. But the story was Achane with 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. Amazing game. Jalen Waddle had a touchdown. Malik Washington had a touchdown. Rumors that the Bills were trying to trade for a Waddle were going on. The Dolphins didn't want to trade. And then first game after that, he fucks the Bills for a touchdown and helps the Dolphins blow them out. Nice. Fitzpatrick and Brents picked up fumbles. 12 tackles for Jordan Brooks. 3 total sacks coming from Chubb, Zeitler, and Willie Gay Jr. Melifonwu with an interception. 6 points for Patterson and 3 points for Bailey. Patriots beat the Bucs 28-25. Patriots go to 5-0 in away games. Nice. I think this game lived up to the hype that I myself gave it. Drake May, another great performance. 270, 2 touchdowns, and a stupid interception. But TreVeyon Henderson, finally, he's alive. 2 touchdowns, 147 yards. Mac Hollins, 106. My boy, Kyle Williams, his one and only catch of the game with his first career touchdown. Let's go. Stephon Diggs with the touchdown right before halftime, like as the clock hit 0 for halftime. Marcus Jones picked up a fumble. Gibbons with 10 tackles. They got 2 sacks coming from Ponder and Chason once again. No interceptions. 4 points for Andy, 5 points for Behringer. And now Baker and the Bucs. Baker, a great performance. 273 and 3 touchdowns. Rushing, not the greatest. Egbuka, 115 and a touchdown. Tej Johnson had 2 touchdowns. Rookies went off for the Bucs in this game. And Cade Otton had a lot of action, which I hope he would have had. No fumbles, 9 tackles for David, a sack for Roberts. That's the only sack. And Tyke Smith with the end zone interception. 5 points for McLaughlin and 6 points for Dixon. Patriots go to 8-2 and got some help from the Dolphins to, forward their lead in the division. Bears come back and beat the Giants 24-20. Giants are still winless in away games. Nice. Dart 242 got a concussion. Russ came in, didn't really do anything. Jackson Dart had 2 rushing touchdowns. Tracy had 71 yards. Slayton with 89 yards. Dart lost a fumble, 7 tackles for Foles and Newbin. They didn't get a sack or an interception. Koo with 8 points and 3 points for Gillen. And now the Bears, who are 6-3. Caleb 220 and a touchdown, who also ran one in. Kyle ran one in as well, and Swift back with 80 rushing yards. Odunze, finally got his head out of his ass from last week, 86 and a touchdown. His dad forced the Bears to trade him on Twitter. Like, dude, what the fuck, man? Nashawn Wright recovered a fumble. Gardner Johnson with 9 tackles and 2 sacks, leading the team in tackles and sacks in this game. Nice. 4 total sacks. They didn't pick off Dart or Russ. 6 points for Santos, 3 points for Torrey Taylor. Bears are 3-1 at home. They're a legit team this year, I think, so far. Ravens beat the Vikings 27-19. The Ravens are coming back, man. They're coming back. Lamar 176 and a touchdown. Derrick Henry 75 yards. Zay Flowers 45 yards. A touchdown for Mark Andrews. Lamar fumbled. 7 tackles for Wiggins. A sack for Jones. Starks and Humphrey got interceptions, and Starks was his first career interception. And both of these were horrible throws from J.J. McCarthy. Or 9. That was so stupid. 13 points for Tyler Loop, 5 points for Stout. And now the Vikings, McCarthy, 248, a touchdown and 2 picks. Also led the team in rushing. Aaron Jones with a touchdown. Naylor, 124 and a score. Price fumbled twice. That kind of rhymed. 11 tackles for Cashman. Sack for Allen. No interceptions. 7 points for Riker. 2 punts for Wright. Like I said, man, Ravens, if they can keep winning, they'll get back into the playoff race. Panthers. How do you beat the Packers on a game-winning field goal last week, and then this week lose to the 1-win Saints? Tyler Shuck, his first career win, and he played a great game. 282 and 2 touchdowns. 83 rushing yards for Kamara. Chris Olave was scorching, absolutely scorching the Panthers secondary. He beat the shit out of Horn this whole game. 104 and a touchdown. Johnson had a touchdown. Jordan lost a fumble. 7 tackles for Davis. They got 2 sacks coming from Cameron Jordan and Shepard. Interception for Alontae Taylor. 5 points for Gruppy. 4 points for Kroger. And now the Panthers. Bryce Young, 124, no touchdowns and a pick. The most average Bryce Young stat line. They shut down Rico Dowdle outside of his only score of the game for the entire team. Good job, Panthers. 60 yards for McMillan. Bryce Young lost a fumble. 9 tackles for Brown. Sacks come from Wallace and Nick Scorton. No interceptions. A point for Fitzgerald and 4 punts for Sam Martin. The Seahawks destroy the Cardinals 44-22. We started to let it go a little bit in the second half, but we clutched up and we win. Brissett, 258 and 2 touchdowns. He played a really, cleanish game in the second half pretty much. DeMarcado, 64 yards. Dortch with the rushing touchdown. McBride, 127 and a touchdown. Marvin Harrison with the touchdown. Brissett lost 2 fumbles. 6 tackles for Simon, Garrett Williams, and Gaither. They got 1 sack, and it came from Josh Sweat. Burke picked off Sam Darnold. 2 points for Ryland and 4 points for McDonald. Now the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, I legit think he passed like twice in the second half. 178, a touchdown, and a stupid pick. Almost 200 rushing yards on 46 carries. Let's go. Charbonnet, 83 and a touchdown. Holani had a touchdown. Charbonnet, like in the second half, he was just running like an angry motherfucker. Let's go, man. JSN eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards. Let's go. With a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had a great 67-yard catch. Darnold lost 2 fumbles. Eamon Warrior with 9 tackles with half a sack. DeMarcus with half a sack. Tyrese Knight with 2 sacks. A sack for Leonard Williams and Boye Mafe. No interceptions. Myers went a perfect 8 for 8 with 14 points. And DeMarcus Lawrence had 2 fumble recovery touchdowns caused by Tyrese Knight in the first half. So this game against the Rams next week, it's gonna be cinema for sure. Speaking of the Rams, they take down San Fran 42-26. Nice. Stafford, 280 and 4 touchdowns. Another MVP-type performance out of him. Kyren Williams, 73 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Devontae, 77 and a score. Nakua with a score. Colby Parkinson, former Seahawk, got a touchdown. Davis Allen got a touchdown. Kinchins picked up a fumble. 11 tackles from Lake, Landman, and Spites. They didn't get a sack. Forbes picked off Mac Jones. I think that's Forbes' second straight week with an interception. So, hey, there you go. 6 points for Mevis and 2 points for Evans. And now the Niners. Mac Jones, 319, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. You know, he did everything he could to try to help the team win, but it just wasn't enough. Brian Robinson had a touchdown, 41 yards. McCaffrey, like I said 2 weeks ago, when he gets shut down, the Niners don't fucking win anything. That's awesome. Kittle and Jennings with touchdowns, along with Luke Farrell down here with the touchdown. Jennings lost a fumble. 10 tackles for Brown and Bethune. Half a sack for Davis. And half a sack for Keon White, the new 49er acquired from the Patriots. No interceptions. 2 points for Pinero and 2 points for Morstead. The Lions beat the Commanders 44-22. Everyone in the noon slate that won had 40-plus points, and every team who lost in the noon slate only scored a little more than 20 points. Very funny, and this game was the exact same score as Seattle. Jared Goff, 320 and 3 touchdowns, played a great game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 142 and 2 touchdowns, played a amazing-ass game. Jameson Williams, 119 and a touchdown. Amon-Ra with a touchdown and got sucker punched by the pussy himself, Darren Payne, who got ejected. Jahmyr Gibbs with the receiving touchdown. No fumbles, 9 tackles for Campbell. 1.5 sacks for Brian Branch, a defensive back. Nice. Roy Lopez with the other half a sack. No interceptions. That's actually shocking. 12 points for Jake Bates. They didn't punt one time, the Lions. Nice. And now the Commanders, Mariota, 213 and 2 touchdowns. The rushing, absolutely abysmal. Capped off with a Chris Rodriguez rushing touchdown. Touchdown came from Deebo Samuel and Ben Snott, with former first-round pick Treylon Burks, of all people, leading the team and receiving. No fumbles. Wagner and Martin with 9 tackles. They didn't get to Jared Goff for sacks or interceptions. No wonder the defense got passed and ran through. 4 points for Matt Gay and 4 points for Tress Way. All right, and the Chargers take down the Steelers 25-10 on Sunday night. You know, when I originally picked the Chargers to win this game, I wasn't really confident in the pick. If you watch my predictions, I was just super unsure. But I just had a feeling they would win, and they won. Kicked the shit out of the Steelers, actually. Their touchdown came in garbage time, literally 3 seconds after I texted my group chat saying the Steelers traveled across the country to kick a field goal. As I said, that Roman Wilson score. Anyway, Rodgers, 161, a touchdown, 2 picks. Just a horrible day for him. Warren was 70 yards. Roman Wilson had the only touchdown for the Steelers. Williams lost a fumble, 12 tackles for Patrick Queen, a sack for Benton, a sack for TJ Watt, a sack for Herbig. They got 5 total sacks on the day. No interceptions. 4 points for Boswell. He missed a field goal that he never misses, by the way. Like, brother, what? 4 points for Waitman. And now the Chargers. Herbert, 220 and a touchdown. Vidal with 95 yards and a touchdown, had a really productive night. McConkey, 107 and a score. And then Keenan Allen passed Antonio Gates for the most receptions in Chargers history. He got it like with 2-3 minutes left in the game on like a sweep. Awesome. Absolute GOAT for the Chargers right there, Keenan Allen. Really one of the most underrated receivers of our generation, I think. Phillips recovered a fumble. Deion Henley, my boy, with 6 tackles. Sack for Khalil Mack. That registered a safety at the beginning of the game. That's, why they got 2 points there. Thule with the sack for, I believe, his 8th of the year now. So, just casual, great season for him. And a sack for Bud Dupree. Dante Jackson and R.J. Mickens had interceptions. Dicker with 11 points, more points than the Steelers put up. Excellent. And 6 punts for J.K. Scott. Can we please stop putting the Steelers on primetime, please, by the way? They fucking suck. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And turn the notification bell on so you'll never miss an upload. I will see you in the next video. Go Hawks!